Namaste. I'm going to dive straight into this. I want to speak about masculine and feminine, not man and woman, male and female, but the energy and the feeling and the frequency of masculine and feminine. For me, they are the two sides, if you like, the two flows, the twin flows from the source of all that is, the source that you are and I am, in essence and in flow, the source that with its total love formed the adamantine particles that created our physical body and breathed in the emotional and mental and what we call light bodies and all the various layers of self that you are, that I am. The energy of creation in expression and here in physical expression. Mother, Father, one. And together, blended together, they're like a divine neutrality that gives no judgment, no value to anything, but loves it all because love is the glue of creation and creating. And that's who you are, and that's who I am. So we have these two flows coming into the toroidal field of us. One flow coming up and the other flow coming down, and these are happening simultaneously and pass through your physical heart, the toroidal field, the great donut of energy flowing in through the top of your head and out through your the soles of your feet. This huge energy cycle of the double flow. And this double flow is expressed in many, many ways. And from our mental mind, we see them in terms of duality, this versus that, rather than in divine neutrality, this and that. You can't have one without the other. Like love and marriage goes together like a horse and carriage. They go together. Masculine and feminine, expressing the dance of creation as one. So, and there's so much in our human history, and even today as we attempt to expand and discover our unity of being, our unity of purpose, our unity with Gaia, our unity with the stars. But through mental mind, there's always a separation. Mental mind cannot exist without creating a distinction, this and that. But we are much, much more, and this is why so much of the teaching now is navigating people straight to the heart, because the heart sees as one. Because love is the glue that holds everything together. And so we have even the movements like the what do you call it? the movements of women that are trying to establish feminine sovereignty because of the masculine, the patriarchal bias that has been in we have created in our human world. But I don't want to talk about those sorts of things. I don't want to make the distinction between God and Goddess, men and women. But to speak about it, I do have to make a distinction. I do have to have two sides, as it were. But as in the yin and yang, two sides to the same. So I'm not talking about male versus female, female versus male. I'm talking male and female as one with two expressions. And this is who we are, and this is what we are coming to. So I put it to you, forget the words I use, but to examine what I'm pointing to. And I wanted to point to you, I want to give you a simple picture, because truth is always simple. So I'm going to put it in the simplest way possible. But we are talking about an experience. The masculine experience of being masculine, or the masculine energy, truth of who we are. And the experience of being feminine, which is also the divine truth of who we are. And I am just as much feminine expression as I am masculine. And to my women listeners, you are just as much masculine as you are feminine. And we're coming to learn the absolute unity of these two, apparently from the mind, separate expressions. But they're not separate. And I'd like to give you a little device, a little way of experiencing this or tuning into it, because it's about energy and frequency. It's not about the outward expression or what we say, but we use words to describe it. So I want you to think of this. Most of you will be aware of, in various descriptions, how we talk about this column, this pillar of light, which flows through the top of our head, through our body and out our feet. And many meditations focus on this, and spiritual exercises and so on focus on breathing this light and becoming this pillar of light, this center of light. And as you bring in the light from the great central sun to your heart, and from the center of Gaia, the heart of Gaia, up into your heart, this column of light begins to expand as you bring it more and more into your life, as you identify with it, as it were, as this becomes a central experience of who you are, this golden white pillar of light that is you, and it flows down. So think of it like a column, a straight column coming from the cosmos and coming from the from the core of Earth and flowing through your body. And if you sit with that for a moment, just take a breath and sit with it and feel just this column of light. And for some of you, it's a small column, and for some of you, it's a column that spreads out beyond your body. But it's straight and true and strong and full, like a tree trunk. The tree trunk of you. And as you breathe this, you feel a steadiness You feel your strength. You feel this unwavering, soft, strong, flowing beingness that fills you, that is you. A straight column, above to below, a below to above. And it meets in your heart. And I'm going to call this the masculine flow. Father God. We know that there's no separation. But I want you to imagine or think as if this strength, this softness, this straightness, this trueness, this central beingness, this power is Father God you are. Is the and you experience it as various feelings. This is your masculine. And we all have it. Think of this as your masculine. It's not it, but it's pointing to it. So you have access to your father energy, your masculine energy all the time. It's there. And so we have this security, safeness, strength, and softness. The sword of truth that cuts through this courage and the bravery that is reflected in this inexorable flow of the grand light that you are. And this is what you would have looked to when your ideal of a father, in human terms. But it's this masculine which you recognize because it is part of you. It is you. This what we're calling masculine energy. And where's the feminine? Well, it's very, very simple. Because the masculine is like this isness. And where is this energy flowing? It's flowing to the heart. And our heart, and just as a human being, when we feel the love in our heart, we feel expansion. We want to expand. And it's expanding out, and it's giving to the world, and receiving back in to that divine powerhouse you are. So here we can describe a circle, if you like. It's more than a circle, it's a sphere, but a circle of love, a circle of embrace of the whole world, a circle where you weave new experiences, you weave new light patterns, you take information, you take it into the heart and magnify it with your love and bring it out again. What else but feminine energy? The creative flow of who you are. A soft, gentle embracing. Seeing the possibilities in everything. And being able to weave new patterns. To dance new dances. Play new music. To express that embrace, that nurturing, that creating and weaving of our knowing into new experiences. This is the feminine. And we all have it. We all have it. It is all a part of our natural beingness. This expansion, that's creating. And the energy of expansion comes from the masculine you. And the strength and the confidence comes from that masculine you expressed in the feminine of who you are. The weaver, the server, the lover. The lover led by the feminine expression, with the masculine always behind it. Behind, not out front. So in a way we could say most of the feminine expression will show up when we create as humans in truth, because it's more out front. But there's a weaving, there's an in and out. We can't make rules about this. But what I wanted you to get is this feeling, the soft, expansive, loving, expressive energies. We all have to agree, whether we have a masculine or feminine body, it doesn't matter. It's just by and large, if you have a masculine body, you're much more. It's much more natural of you to feel that Father God. And if you have a feminine body, it's much more natural for you to feel the goddess, the Mother God. However, it's not exclusive for any of us, because it's both. And I, as a man, have been lucky enough to get to a stage earlier in life where I put myself in women's shoes because I wanted to experience more of my femininity. I always felt male, if you like. I was always at home with my strength and my reliability, as it were, my reliability for me, my safety. But I deliberately went out to experience my feeling of femininity, which means expansiveness, and you can see it reflected in what I write. I have no trouble talking about love. I'm not embarrassed, and haven't been for a long, long time, expressing outwardly. And this is not to say that you have to express it outwardly through the words you use and so on, to be at peace and in harmony with yourself. But it is being able to allow the expression of both. And to do that, you have to know what it feels like. What does it feel like to be a man? Not what other people classify, or not what other men have said to you, or what you've observed. But what does it feel like to be masculine in your body? And for me, it was much more, what does it feel like to be feminine in my body? And I'm still a man's man, if you like. But I love the feminine expression, and therefore I can love the feminine expression in all those I see. It doesn't make me less or more man, or less or more woman. It is Mother God alive and kicking in me, and Father God fully present, hand in hand with her. This is what we're aiming for, if you like. And it's about a feeling. So I'm asking you to simply tune into the feeling. You want the masculine? Then tune into the pillar of light and feel the qualities of it. And march around for the day a bit in your pillar of light to feel the masculine energies of you. And if you're a guy, but not just if you're a guy, if you're having trouble with your femininity, the feminine feelings, then march around for the day. Walk in your life for a day with this expanded, no boundaries feeling, with an open heart. Knowing that, Father, that column, that expansive, immense column is there within you and expanding your touch on the world, finding more of your joy. And another way to help you is to put yourself in the shoes of someone who has a male body if you have a female one, or female body if you have a male one, and walk a mile in their shoes. Walk a mile in their shoes. Not for sympathy, not to just go into sympathy and fix anything, but what does it feel like? What does it feel like? Because you know, you have been both male and female before many times. And the beauty of all of this exercise is that you get to know Father, Mother One more intimately. The Father, Mother One that you are. It is my intention, my wish, that this help you get a greater feel of who you are. And we can step past the separation game. And we can step past the conflict that is totally unnecessary. Because in conflicting, we're fighting ourselves. I so love you. Thank you for your time and your presence. We are one. So towards the one.